Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get-together live here on Facebook, 10:30 in the morning, Monday through Saturday, where we examine headlines from our city, from our state, from our country. We take a look at your comments, your ideas, your suggestions. We combine all this information so that we can have an awesome life living here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. Today is October 17th, and it is a pleasure to get together with each and every one of you today. Although I must admit, I am a little under the weather. I had a very, very rough weekend, and as much as it makes me uncomfortable to discuss certain aspects of my personal life, I am committed to being open about my mental health. And yes, I can tell you that this weekend I had a depression episode like I haven't had in years that took me off guard. And it was unexpected. But please know that I am on my way out. And I am grateful and honored to rely on a wonderful support system. Two dear friends held my hand. And all I can say is if you suffer from any type of mental health related issues, find help, know what triggers them, and inform your friends. You know, speak out loud about how you're feeling and what is going on with your life. Your friends will appreciate it. They will feel important and meaningful in your life if you reach out for health. For health and for help. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Anyhow, enough about me. Today we are going to look, oh my God, I'm really out of it, aren't I? Today we have important news that have to do with face mask policies in Puerto Vallarta and the rest of the state. And we have other news that have to do with daylight savings. We have the first spotting of the new ferries that are going to be used for the Islas Marías, and all kinds of good stuff. As always, if this is the first time that you're joining us live, I'm sorry this is not the way it is every single day, but we appreciate knowing that you are new. And if you are new, just write the word new in your comment. We'll give you a nice welcome. And if there's something truly important that you wish to share with the rest of us, please do so. And add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment. We'll be so very glad to take a look at your comment in the second half of the broadcast. So let's get started, and I'm going to take us to the news. Well, this is good news or not good news, depending on how you look at it. We were not expecting any changes in state-based health guidelines until the end of the month. However, Jalisco's Secretary of Health has informed that all remaining preventive guidelines cease to be mandatory over the weekend. This means that wearing face masks in city buses, hospitals, and clinics is no longer a requirement. That said, the Secretary of Health continues to recommend basic guidelines during the winter months, which include washing your hands frequently, using alcohol based gel, and covering your nose and mouth when coughing or sneezing. All good common sense stuff. I think 2.5 years after this, I'm feeling kind of weird if I don't carry a face mask in my bag just in case. So you may want to do the same thing. Can working less hours make us more effective? Well, deputies from the PAN political party are proposing a bill in which for every 4.5 days of work, employees would be able to take 2.5 days off instead of 2 days off. The argument is that Mexico is one of the countries in which working longer days yields lower productivity. According to information provided by the Organization for Economic Development and Cooperation, an international organization that works to build better policies for better lives, Mexicans work an average of 2,124 hours each year, in comparison with countries such as Costa Rica and Japan, where the number of hours worked is 1,913 and 1,598 respectively. So, working less hours could encourage employees to use their energy more efficiently, improve mental health. I'm all for mental health. Spend more time with their families, and return to work with increased enthusiasm. The Jalisco State Congress has approved a new mobility law that contemplates a series of new traffic fines for folks driving vehicles and motorcycles, and not everyone is happy. Why? Well, apparently the new mobility law reform was delivered to deputies in a handy-dandy 650-page document with 420 articles to review, but it was provided only a few hours prior to voting. And there are questions about the subsequent use of collected monies from these fines to subsidize public transportation instead of directing them to other more worthwhile causes. But we're not going to get into that debate today. I'm just going to mention a couple of things that caught my eye. For example, I'm not a cigarette smoker, but I had no idea. Moving forward, you cannot smoke and drive. According to the new law, a cop can stop you for smoking while you're driving and fine you 481 pesos. And the fine for not respecting pedestrians crossing at intersections has been increased to 1,443 pesos. And if you're riding your motorcycle with a minor that cannot hold on to his or her own, on his or her own, your fine just went up from 2,405 pesos to 5,772 pesos. Is the government looking for creative ways to make more revenue? Apparently. Now, what seems to be the final time change in Mexico is coming up this October 29th, when we switch back our clocks 1 hour before bedtime to wake up the next day in the new permanent time zone. We've been announcing for several months that Mexico's government was thinking of removing daylight savings altogether, and this decision was finally made. So on October 29th, everything seems to indicate that we will be switching our clocks for the last time here in Mexico. Let's take a look at the weather forecast. There are no clouds in your area, with few exceptions, says our snarky weather guy. I don't see anything snarky about that. And, oh, Dios mío, it's 26 degrees right now, but humidity is again at 100%. Not good. And our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 79. Our weather forecast for today says rain until evening with a high of 30, a low of 23. Tomorrow, Tuesday, will be a humid and partly cloudy day with a high of 31 and a low of 24. And on Wednesday, rain in the evening with a high of 31 and a low of 24. Moving right along, I have a couple of other headlines that you might be excited about. For example, Last week, somebody commented seeing some fancy ferry-like vessels docked at the maritime terminal. Now we learned that the first ferry to be used to visit the Islas Marías has arrived in San Blas, and I'm wondering if this is one of the ones that were spotted here in Puerto Vallarta last week. We know that this vessel is called the Islas Marías Dos or Two, but just as the rest of the information related to this new tourism destination, information about tickets, travel time, and such continues to be rather sketchy. But the ferry is pretty looking. We have spotted another Day of the Day event, Day of the Day related. This is one organized by the city's Cultural Institute. It is a Living Catrina contest that will take place on November 3rd at 8 p.m. at the Malecón. Cash prizes will be awarded for the first, second, and third prize. And there is a registration form available in the article, which of course we will include in the show notes. We wrap up today's news with good news and then not so good news. The good news is the municipality's ecology department organized a massive turtle release event this past weekend at Playa Joli, in which approximately 100 people gathered to release some 2,000 hatchlings to the ocean. According to authorities, over 50,000 turtle hatchlings have been released in Puerto Vallarta so far this season, and this is excellent environment-related news. On the other hand, this is not so great environment-related news. Apparently, the Sunday Recreation Day along Grandes Lagos Avenue in Fluvial, which was instituted just a few months ago, is no longer happening, or at least it did not happen this past weekend. It is unclear if this is due to a lack of interest or lack of city personnel or lack of volunteers to coordinate the effort. I was kind of expecting that to be the case, unfortunately, because it's the second time that our government tries to start this, and it would seem to me that locals are just not patient enough to let these new initiatives sink in the minds of people out there. Now, let's take a quick look at your comments to see what everybody is up to. I am rewinding back, and I love your good mornings, and particularly today, your good mornings and your good vibes mean the world to me. Let's see what we have. Good mornings, good mornings, good mornings all around. Dan updates our last day live here until Saturday, as we will be on the road landing in Puerto Vallarta this coming Sunday. I look forward to seeing you again. Let's see. More good mornings, more good mornings. Christine says it's hot here in Puerto Vallarta. Unfortunately, you're right, although the early mornings have been a little cooler, which is nice. Let's see what else we have. Oh, thank you for the good wishes. Thank you for the good wishes. I appreciate those very much. Luisa, you were on my mind, in my mind. You were in there all through the weekend. I hope you and Lucas enjoyed your first full day in Guadalajara yesterday, and I'm looking forward to hearing all the details. Thank you for that, Linda. I've got this. I've lived with clinical depression for most of my adult life, and you think you know how to handle yourself, but every now and then something unexpected will trigger an episode. And this time around, I failed to see the signs, and I failed to manage the signs properly. But it's part of the learning process. Let's see. Kathy here. Depression lies. It tells us all kinds of lies about ourselves. I know that, which is why one of the things that I tend to do is I let my choice friends know that I'm having a difficult time, and then I stay home with Luna because my perception is a little skewed. And it still is, but I think I'm going to be fine in a couple of days. Let's see. Let's see. Thank you for more good wishes. Thank you for more good wishes. Um, Sherry comments on the mask. I think I will still wear a mask when on the bus and wash my hands after. That's not a bad idea, Sherry. You know, again, as I mentioned before, I always carry mine and will continue to do so for some time. Alan asks, aren't the border states still going to maintain daylight savings time? As far as I know, yes, but I couldn't tell you exactly which will. Brian confirms that those are the ferries that you saw. Um, so this is good. You know, hopefully we will learn more about the ferries at some point. I am excited about that. Um, your voice keeps getting deeper and then goes back to normal like a record player slowing down. Interesting. I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or not, but I just read it and that's a good thing. Um, Islas Marías going to be treated like a hotel to go to, asks Angelica. The latest information that we have about that is that accommodations will be available but only for short periods of time. So it's not like you're going to be able to stay there for more than 2 nights, they have said. Mateo comments on something that we discussed a couple of days ago regarding Colonia Versalles being on place number 51 on that list. Count on the cluster for help. I do, Mark. I really, really do. By the simple fact that I have permission to express what I'm feeling, and I have always encouraged everyone to feel comfortable and safe here to share what's on your mind, and that will continue to be the case. Today, not a great day for me, I'm afraid, but it's much better than yesterday, and I am sure that tomorrow will be much better than today. I thank you very much for your understanding, and I thank you very much for your support. And, stay happy, stay kind, stay mindful, take good care of yourselves, take good care of your friends, and I'll see you soon.